We will pick up the action. In just the second minute, Cerritos' Mia Ramirez opens up the scoring for the Falcons as she dribbles through the Warrior defense and gets it past the keeper, Isabel Rojas, for the first goal. El Camino's Isabel Rojas had a very good game in the net for Elko. She saved 8 of Cerritos' shots and was a bright spot for the Warriors. And now we'll move to the 59th minute. A throw-in for the Falcons. The ball gets to Ramirez. Couple touches. Couple dribbles. Right-footed shot. Oh, what a shot. That goes into the back of the net. Her second goal of the game. And Cerritos would go on to win this one 2-0. I spoke with Jessica Youngdale, El Camino's coach, after playing this top program competitively. Although they have a better record than you guys on paper and they won 2-0, if the game felt more competitive than that, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think, as far as for us, we had nothing to lose. Obviously Cerritos has a great program, and they've had a great program for the past, I can't even tell you how long. They are a tremendous team, and they always are that way. And, I think we talked, and we were going to play this game like, we could compete with them, and that was a big thing.
What do you take away from this game going forward?
We take away a lot. I think we had kind of a rough start, and, we actually even had a team meeting yesterday to kind of talk about some things, and I think we take about what we're capable of. We just played one of the top teams, junior college in the nation to a 2-0 game and had chances. That easily could have been a 1-1 game 10 minutes in. So definitely a lot of positive take. Obviously we're still frustrated. It still goes down as a loss, but I think there's a lot to take from it and to move forward and to, continue to bring that same atmosphere, that same energy, intensity to our next game.
After a competitive game here at Murdoch Stadium, the women of El Camino fall 2-0 to the Cerritos Falcons. The next 2 games for Elko will be on the road, but they return home on October 10th to play LA Harbor. This has been Eric Kabrak reporting for the Sports Desk.
Thank you. If not the biggest event going on, yep, the football game. The Tartars of Torrance High were entertaining Centennial in their homecoming game. Tartars are trying to snap a 2-game losing skid. The Apaches, on the other hand, have lost 3 straight. Sports Desk reporter Dani Miskell was at Zamperini Stadium for this one, and she has our story.
Last week, the Tartars suffered a major loss against Lawndale, but they were able to recover quickly from it because tonight they had a landslide of a win against Centennial. And what better occasion to bring home a sweet victory than for their own homecoming game.
And here comes the Tartars, hitting the ground running hard. Their offensive line off to a strong start, led by senior Kyle Sell, who scored the first touchdown just 2 minutes into the game. And to wrap up the first quarter, 26-0, would be junior Eric Suarez, who goes in for the quick 6 right here.
I put it all towards my linemen. They pushed their D back, and it just all started with effort from my linemen. That's how it started, and I had trust in my linemen that they put me in the end zone, and they did, and I followed right behind them.
Senior Nathan Gottlieb putting points on the board, running 16 yards into the end zone in the first quarter, and then again right here while even getting his helmet knocked off. Tartars showing the Apaches they mean business.
Actually, it was a play for a running back, but he ran the opposite way, so I did what our coaches told us and just run it in, and our line made their blocks like they were supposed to, and it all worked out.
Playing Centennial, we didn't figure on playing anybody except ourselves, and that's been the theme throughout this whole thing. Is we got to beat ourselves. I mean, we have to actually play the way that we can play, and that's it all culminated tonight with the victory over Centennial.
Thanks to their turnovers, the Apaches made it easy for the Tartars, and that would result in a 34-0 lead at the half. Gottlieb credits the offensive line for creating so many opportunities, including this play right here where he boldly goes for the 2-point conversion, and the pass is complete to senior Chase Pitts in the end zone.
We made sure to go 100% every rep and take no plays off.
I asked my line, give me you give us 3 yards and we'll get the rest. And they did that tonight. I imagine we ran over maybe 200-300 yards.
Pretty close guess, Coach. In fact, your Tartars finished with 308 yards rushing and a total of 317 yards for the game.
And that's what we've been designing to do. The last couple of years we went to the spread, and it never was meant for us. We went back to the double wing tee, and we're just going to get better every single week.
Well, this week was already a big improvement, and just in time for homecoming.
It feels great. It's past 2 homecoming years hasn't been the best result, but this year, glad to come out with the W.
Next up for the Tartars, they're going to play crosstown rivals South. And for Coach Hollis, the formula to prepare for that game is quite simple.
We try to get better at running the ball. I don't care if we ever pass again. It doesn't matter to me. If we can run the ball, our line stays healthy, we're going to run the ball against South, and we're going to do everything we can in our power to run the ball against them.
The Tartars won their homecoming game by a landslide 48-zip. And for Gottlieb, he says it will be a night to remember.
I love this group of guys. This is my favorite team I've been on, and I'm glad that we won on homecoming, and I had a great night as well.
Reporting from Zamperini Stadium and on the Tartars homecoming game night, I'm Dani Miskell for the Sports Desk.
Thank you, Danny. Huge win for the Tartars. Junior run for this one, and he's got all the deets.
Thanks, AJ. I'm here at the North High School Gymnasium for a rivalry matchup between South and North High School. Now today marks the halfway point in league play, and with a win, South High can pull into a tie for first place. Now that will be no easy task, as it is a rivalry matchup, and the Saxons will be poised to pull off the upset. If the teams needed any extra motivation, it was also the breast cancer awareness game on Friday. The Spartans of South High were hungry for a win after they lost their last match. Spartans junior Lauren Walsh delivered a thunderous spike to put South up 2-1 early. Then with South leading 22-15, sophomore Kai Lopez gets in on the action as she gets a big kill to help the Spartans win the set 25-15. A big reason for the Spartans' success was the serving ability of Captain Kristen Fritchie. She had 2 aces in the opening set.
She was hitting her spots with tough serves. It makes our defense easier when they're out of system.
Things did not get better for North in the second set. Look out, Lauren Walsh punishes this ball for the kill to extend South's lead 19-13. On the very next play, the Spartans feed Walsh again, and she delivers, tucking this ball inside the line for the point. South would win the set 25-14 and take a 2-0 lead in the match. North battled hard in the third set, keeping it close, but Kai Lopez comes through with a thunderous spike to put the Spartans up by 5. The sophomore Kai Lopez was back at it again later in the third set with South ahead 23-22. Lopez sends this spike just past the North defense for the kill. Kai Lopez talked about her impressive third set after the match.
They were just perfect. I was feeling it. I get if I get into momentum, I start banging balls. So I felt really good. 2
plays later, with North trailing 24-23, a serve goes into the net, handing South the match. The Spartans win this one in straight sets and improve to 3-1 in league play.
It felt good to get back on the court. The girls were actually excited to get back into practice, and it carried over into today's game. So it was a good win today.
We were really pumped. We had a pretty good week of practice, so we were ready to get after it.
It's a tight race at the top of the league, and Spartan head coach Robert Cooch says his team has to be a little more consistent if they want to come out on top.
Against both Torrance and West, game 1 we dominated, won kind of easily, and then struggled after that. So I think when we're on, we're one of the better teams in the league. We just got to stay on all the time.
With today's 3-0 victory over North High School, the Spartans of South High have now moved into a 3-way tie for first place. Tied with South at the top of the division is Torrance and West High School. It's going to be a great battle as the season continues for that top spot. Reporting from the North High Gymnasium, I'm Anthony Scott for the Sports Desk.
Thank you, Anthony. The Knights of Bishop Montgomery. All right, the team everyone is chasing, North, played a game recently that was over with before the singing of the national anthem. Well, at least it appeared that way. Let's just say the Saxons threw everything but the kitchen sink at Centennial High School, and assuming they actually threw the aforementioned kitchen sink, they might have actually broken the century mark. Yeah, it was that kind of game for the Saxons, and they were just throwing salt in the game. Check this out. It's homecoming 2017 for the North High Saxons. It's time to tear that banner to shreds. Although, how ironic, they would do a better job tearing Centennial to shreds. Saxons waste no time. Opening drive of the game. They're already in the red zone thanks to Sean Segala's scramble. And then this time, Segala hands off to Saeed Galloway. And he just waltzes his way into the end zone. And just like that, it's 7-0 North. Minutes later, Segala keeps it himself this time, barrels his way into the end zone, and now it's 14-0 Saxons. And most people haven't even sat down yet following the national anthem. Fasten your safety belts. This game was played at breakneck speed. Apache's punting now. And check this out. Oh! Well, that didn't work. Justin Golembiowski with a sick block on the punt attempt, and now he's in the end zone. North just piling it on at this point. Second quarter, more of the same. Makai Jordan in at QB now, and he finds Bo McGlinty in the back of the end zone, and Bo knows touchdowns. That was an 80s reference, by the way. We should be showing you these highlights and fast forward accompanied by Benny Hill music. It was that kind of game. And check this touchdown pass out here. This time to Brandon Livingston. Wow, it was 55-0 Saxons at the half. Even the homecoming king and queen finalists scored touchdowns in this game. North wins easily by the final of 62-0. You have to be a certain age to remember Benny Hill. Posting a 14-9 overall record. Recently, Torrance was visiting another Pioneer League opponent, the Saxons of North High School. First set of the match, Torrance already up big 14-3. Watch North senior Aaron Green set up fellow senior Lacey Gallagher for the massive kill, one of her team high 8 kills. North down by 10 now. Tartars answer right back though. Senior Allie Grelly with a nice kill of her own right there. Tartars lead 15-4. Saxons trying to fight back in this one. Keep your eye on McKenna Madison at the front of the net. She will tap it over for the score. Right there, nice point. Saxons trail 22-9 though. Very next play, on the other side of the net, check out Torrance senior Elizabeth Truman. She will have, coming up right here, what one would call the stuff dreams are made of. Sick block at the net, 23-9 Tartars. Truman doing the serving now, and that's going to be your game point. Tartars win the first set 25-9. They go on to complete the 3-zip sweep. If you're wondering why the Torrance High School girls volleyball team are so good this season, we think we know one of the main reasons. Why the Torrance High School girls volleyball team are so good this season, we think we know one of the main reasons why. The head coach, Sports Desk reporter Anthony Scott, explains.
Rochelle Squire is in her 4th season as the Torrance High School volleyball coach, and the Tartars have done nothing but improve. Now at 10-8, Torrance is playing their best volleyball, but it hasn't always been smooth sailing for Coach Squire and the Tartars.
I really like getting people excited about volleyball. Volleyball is a sport I love when it's played well. I like playing really good volleyball. And so I think getting girls excited about that is, I think, the best part. And just seeing them grow as, like, women.
When Coach Squire arrived at Torrance 4 years ago, the Tartars had a streak of 7 consecutive losing seasons. Rochelle Squire knew she had her work cut out for her.
I knew that they were struggling, but I also think that that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad. I am not a coach that thinks that bigger always wins games. I mean, I was a 5'8.5" outside hitter at a D1 college. I would say my coaching style is fun but stern.
It's very laid back, but at times when we're messing around and stuff, she tends to be very stern and hard on us.
Coach Squire had a marvelous playing career, earning second-team honors at Portland State and even playing professionally in France. Now she brings some of that French flavor into her coaching style.
Over there is a lot different. My coach didn't speak any English, so I learned body language and I learned how to interpret things. I think one of the things that maybe I do a little differently than other coaches is I don't always tell them what to do. I often ask them questions and get them to find their own answers, because you're not always going to have someone yelling at you from the sidelines telling you exactly what to do.
We were actually, our us as seniors, we were her first group of freshmen, so we've been able to grow with her and have her as a coach.
I think the team goal was to go back to CIF and secondary to beat South. I don't know if this statistic is true, but the girls say that Torrance hasn't beaten South in 15 years.
We planned on hopefully like putting up a better fight against South and maybe winning, but unfortunately we did not.
This year, just like getting into CIF, like definitely bettering my team.
Now they're really focused on the CIF goal and winning a game and going farther than last year, which I think is, what they want to do. They want to be better. They want to make their mark on this program, and I think some of them already have. But I think collectively as a team, they want to be the team that people remember as, the change in Torrance.
The Torrance High School volleyball team has